Welcome to my Introduction to HTML5 video. All you'll need to participate in this tutorial is a simple text editor. So if you're on a Mac, you can use Text Edit or download a free program called Text Wrangler, which is what I'll be using. If you're on a PC, use Notepad or Notepad++. Inside of our HTML document, we're going to cover meta tags, text, email, lists, links, images, tables, divs, iframe, audio, and video. Then I'll leave you with a basic HTML5 page layout for a responsive website. I also just recorded 2 responsive website tutorials, so check for them when this video is over. Now that we have our text editor open, the first thing we're going to do is save it as an HTML document. So go up to File, Save As, and we're going to save it as index.html. And when you look at an HTML website online, you're never going to see .com/index because index is what's used for the home pages. The next thing we're going to do is open our file in our web browser, so it should be blank. So wherever you saved it, open it up in your browser. I'm using Google Chrome. Now let's jump right into writing HTML with our HTML5 document type. So you want to do left angle bracket, exclamation point, doc type, HTML, right angle bracket. All HTML is nested inside of these opening and closing brackets. So most people will call them either tags or elements, and they get mixed up. So you have an opening tag and a closing tag. So right here is our opening tag for HTML, and we're going to do language, English, or you can do English US. So EN, right angle bracket. Now we'll close the HTML tag with the /. Now everything will go inside of this opening and closing HTML tags. So we have our head section, and then we have our body section where we'll have the content of the page. So open and close head and body tags. The head section is where we tell web browsers a lot of important information about our website, but nothing that we put in between the head tags will show up as content on our web page. So we're going to do some meta tags now. So we'll do opening, meta, space name, equals, and then in quotations, description, content equals, and then we'll do quotations again, introduction to HTML5. So this is where you give a short description of your website or web page. So let's do another meta name, and this will be for keywords. So for search engine optimization, you want to put relevant keywords to the content on your page so it's easy for people to find you. So I'm just going to do a few keywords here that are related to this introduction to HTML5. And then we'll close it with the quotations and do our right angle bracket. Now let's do another meta name. So again, meta name equals quotations, and this will be author, so people can know who produced the web page. And in the last meta, we'll do the character encoding, which is the default character encoding for HTML pages. So we'll do meta char set UTF-8 quotations, and then you can close that tag. The next thing we're going to do is give our web page a title. So this will show up, can't see over here, it will show up on your web page similar to how you see index.html at the top of Text Wrangler here. So inside of the title tags, I'm just going to put HTML5 introduction for my website name. Now we can start adding some content to the body section of our web page. So let's start with some text elements and tags. So the first one we're going to do is H1, which is a header tag. And it doesn't really matter what you write in there, just put a little text in. So I'll write this is an H1 header tag, and then we'll close out the tag, the /. The next thing we'll do is a paragraph tag. So paragraph tag is just P, so we'll open and close the tag. Right, this is a subheading or paragraph. Now we can refresh the page and let's see how it looks. So the H1 tag is large and bold and the paragraph tag is small, like a paragraph. So now we'll do H2 and see how that looks. So header tags go from H1 to H6, with H6 being the smallest, H1 being the largest. So we'll do a H6 too to get the full range of scale. Now we can go and refresh the web page, and you can see the difference between the header tags. Next thing we're going to do is let's make a series of paragraphs, and we'll style the text in different ways. To start us off, let's do a bold tag. So bold is just B, so we'll do opening and closing. And then another way to get the bold effect is to do the strong tag. Now if we go look at it, we'll see the bold text. So now let's do italics. So we'll create another paragraph, and the italic tag is just I. And just like with bold, there's more than one way to get the italic effect. So we'll do EM, which is the emphasize tag. And the third to get the italic effect is cite. Now we can check our browser for the italic tags, and then we'll go over some unique type of HTML styling tags. So I'll skip down to the next line, create another paragraph. So we'll do the variable tag, which is var. We'll do definition. And then we'll do code. So we'll see what these look like in a second. then you have keyboard, which I think is similar to what code looks like. Last one for this paragraph will be sample, S-A-M-P. Let's do one more thing before we see what those tags appear like. So let's create another paragraph. And we'll do subscripts and superscript. So there is a superscript in the 4th of July. So for super, S-U-P, for sub, which is in CO2, we'll do S-U-B. Close the paragraph, and let's see what they look like. So refresh the page. And the next thing we're going to do is the strike through. So there's two ways to do it. So let's create another paragraph. And we'll do the delete tag. And then we'll do the strike tag, which will give us the same effect, as far as I can tell. And the last one we'll do for this paragraph, we'll do INS, which will give us an underline. But before we go and look at these tags, I just want to show you one thing, and that's that HTML doesn't recognize spaces and returns. I'm just going to create a few spaces here, and then I'll show you how you can do a line break. So we'll do left angle bracket / BR for break, and then our right angle bracket. So that's a line break tag. So let's close the paragraph tag and go see. Here we have our underline and line and strike throughs. And now down here, the line break, you can see created this space. The next thing I want to show you is a horizontal rule. So we'll do, just like line break, we'll do HR, and that will create a line across the page. But we need the / after the HR. That's right. So here we go. The next thing we're going to do is called a block quote, which creates an indent. So I'll do another paragraph in between the block quote tag. So a block quote will indent a quotation, but you don't want to use it for indenting a paragraph because I think the whole paragraph will shift over. You could this isn't the video for it, but you could do indent with CSS. Also throw in the Q tag, and I'll show you what it looks like. Q for quotation. Now I'll show you the abbreviate tag, which is ABBR. So you want to do ABBR title, and then in quotations you'll have write whatever you want the abbreviation to mean. So when someone hovers over the ABBR there in capitals on your web page, a little box will appear to give them the full word or definition. Now we'll create an email link. So we'll do paragraph, and this is what we do for links. We do ahref equals, and then in quotations we'll have mail to, and then I'll just do guy@gmail, and the right angle bracket. Now skip down, and that guy@gmail there on the second line is what will appear as text. And then you want to close the A tag, which is the link. Then you can have a little thing about the address underneath in the paragraph tag. So we also need to do the address tags. And let's go see what it looks like. So if you click on this, your mailing feature will pop up depending on what you have set up on your computer. Now I'm just going to create a little space. And the next section we're going to go to are lists. So I'll just write lists in the header tag. And the first type of list we're going to create is called an unordered list. So the opening tag will be OL, and then we'll close that out. And now we need to do list items, so it will be LI. And we'll close that. And I'm just going to copy it so we have a few different list items. Paste it. And with an ordered list, your list items are numbered. So let's look at it here. 1, 2, 3. Next thing we're going to do is create an unordered list. So it will be similar to the ordered list, but with UL instead. So I'll do the list items. Copy, paste. One, 2, 3. And what we'll find is that the unordered list isn't numbered, but it just has bullet points. Now what we'll do, before we go look at this one, let's look at it. Now let's create a nested unordered list inside of this unordered list. So I'll create another list item. I can't type very well, as you might have found. And I'll show you what it looks like. So there the bullets have gone out a tab. Now let me create a space, and we'll do what's called a definition list. So we'll do a DL tag, and we'll close it. And then inside of that, the first thing we'll do is a D T tag. So this is where the word of the definition will go. The word we're defining. And then we'll do under that a DD tag for the definition. And let me just do another one. Do WordPress, because definition list isn't really a word. DD. WordPress is a content management system for making websites. Now let's take a look at it. And there we go. The next thing we're going to do is create a hidden comment in HTML. So we'll do left angle bracket, exclamation point, 2 hyphens, and then you can write whatever you want and it won't show up on your page. So let's go take a look, and nothing will happen because it's hidden. Now you can also hide HTML tags and code back here. So let's take this, hide all this code here. There we go. It's usually used to leave comments at the end of different sections of the page or different divs. So now what we're going to do is go to a new section and we'll cover links. So we already created one link type in the abbreviation area. So what we'll do is that left angle bracket a href equals, and then in parentheses we'll do the URL that we want the link to go to. So I'm just going to use Google, and then we put the link text after the right angle bracket, and then we close the A tag. So I'm just going to copy it and put it here. So now on this one I'm going to create a target, and we'll do target blank. So what target blank does is it will open the link in a new web page instead of it being the same. So if I refresh the page, you'll see both of the links here, and I'll click on the first one. Now that created it on the same page, but if I click the second one, we'll open a different page, and I can go back to this page. So I'll create a little line break there and do another link. This one is just going to simply be to the top of the page. So you do hashtag top and it will bring you to the top of the web page. There we go. You can also use that to reference to different parts of the page once you get into creating navigation. The next section we'll do is images. So in addition to creating the image tag, let's create a caption for it. So we'll put the image inside of a figure tag. So we'll do left angle bracket img src for image source. Then we'll do the URL for whatever image it is you want to show up. or you can do it from your computer and do the file extension. Now this is going to be a picture of my dog I have uploaded to my blog, which I've used for other tutorials. I'm going to do Alt, Boxer Dog, and this will be text that will show up if the image doesn't appear. I'm going to do height and width. I'll show that you don't really need parentheses in HTML5. Quotations. And I'll tell it to align. We could do left, middle, right. I'm going to do right. Now if I save it, it will show up. There it goes. Now I'm going to create a little space in there. Let's do a BR tag. Now we can do our fig caption tag to create the caption. And close it. And if we go over, it will show up on the left side for some reason. Okay. Next thing we're going to go on to are tables. So let's do a table tag. Open and close it. And inside of the table tag, we'll do a TR tag for the table row. Then we'll do TD for table data, or you can do TH for table heading. So we'll make a heading, and you can choose to do scope if you want. So I'll do scope, COL for column, and I'll just write blank. Now we'll do another table header. For the second column. Close table header. Now I'll create another. I'll just copy and paste, or you can create another table row and table header. So I'll change the scope to row or ROM. I'll just leave it as ROM, show that it doesn't really matter. And I'll make these table data tags. This row stuff is not going well. I mean table stuff. So TR means table row, TD means table data, and TH means table header. Go over and see how it looks. So you can kind of get an idea. anyways, let's move on to divs. So the first thing we'll do is a div ID, and we'll call it wrapper with a W. Now div wrapper, I mean the name inside of the div there that you give it doesn't really make a difference. But you use a div ID once in the page, or reference to it, and you can use a div class multiple times. But divs are basically just to section off your page in a certain way. But with HTML5, you don't use as many divs, and you'll see later because there are certain tags that we have for different sections of the pages now. So divs don't really make a big difference unless you're going to use CSS to style them in a certain way. But let's go over and see. If we go over, we'll just see the paragraphs there. Okay. So the next thing we're going to go on to is our internal frames. Or iframes, but leading into iframes, let me just show you something called a span, where you can do a little bit of, I know this isn't a CSS tutorial, but we're going to do a little style here on some text. So we'll do span style, and I'm going to give it a color of green. I'll close that out. And this is what will show up in green, the inline frame text there. And I'll close the span tag. And internal frames, they basically create a window for another page to show up on your website. So an example is a YouTube video or a Google map. Let me just most commonly, iframes come in the form of Google Maps and YouTube videos once again. So I'm not really going to go get a Google Map or YouTube video right now, but I'm going to move on to audio and video in HTML5. I don't have an audio file here that I'm going to use, but let me show you what you need to do to create audio player. So you do audio source, or SRC, and then this is where your audio file will go, and it's an OGG format. Look for my video on video converter, and you can convert audio and video into HTML5 form. So I'll write controls autoplay, right angle bracket, and then I'll end the audio tag. Let me create a break there, and you'll see there's the audio player. So if I had an actual file behind it, it would show up. Next thing we'll do is the video. So we'll do video source, similar to audio, and this is where the video file will go. I also have a YouTube video that you could look up on a good HTML5 video generator you can use. So this is where you can put a poster as the image that will show up over the video before you hit play. Give it a width and a height. And we'll tell it to preload, show controls, and give a loop option. And then we'll close the video tag. Now we can go look at it in our web browser, and if I had a poster or video it would show up right here, but as you can see it's taking up the space. But that will do for the basics. Now I'm gonna show you a basic HTML5 page layout with the tags you want to create an actual web page or get started to. And this will be a responsive tag layout. So let me just delete all of this stuff, at least in the body. And the first thing we'll do is create a header tag, then a nav tag where you'll have your navigation. Inside a header you might have a logo or something. Inside of that I'll have a section, and I'll give it a class similar to how you would a div. And this will be the content. So when you do section classes, and I'll show you the next one will be aside, this is what you use for responsive. So one will be on the right, one will be on the left, and then once you create your media query they'll combine into one section. So let me end this aside class, and then you can have your footer. You also I'm going to show you, this will be an internal style sheet for CSS, or you could link to a style sheet. So let's just add a little bit of CSS before I go, and I'll show you an example. So I'm going to create a background to the body of the page, and we'll just say green instead of using a hex value. And if I refresh, there's our green page. Now inside of header, I'll just add a letter here, paragraph. And let me create a div wrapper, which most people create when they create a web page to give their web page a certain width. So I'll do div ID wrapper, and then I'll close it way at the bottom there so it takes up all of the content. Now we'll do, now that the hashtag is for div ID, and a period before wrapper would be for div class. So let me just give the wrapper a width of 500 pixels, and I'll give it a different background color than the body. So I'll do a white type color, so F4 times 3. Now you'll see only the A will show up there and the 500 pixel width. So what I'll do is, let me just give the header, which the A is inside of, a height. So I'll say min height, so the minimum height it can be is 100 pixels. So now that white space will be a little bigger. Right. And I can also, let me just change the background color. But I'll make it red so it's more noticeable, just because it looks like that white is a background. If I refresh, there it is. Okay, so that should do it for now. Be sure to check out my tutorials on how to make a responsive website, and it will give you more details leading into how we use CSS to move stuff around our website and add content. Thanks for watching.